What is up, y'all? It looks like we're gonna be getting this show on the road here in just a little bit. So I wanted to give y'all a little bit of a heads up of what the Sprint Ace Cup is all about. But first of all, of course, welcome in co-caster, co-streamer, Pokers. How you doing, Pokers?
I'm good, thank you. And you, Honkito?
I am doing lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that sub as well. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But we will be headed in here shortly. For those of you who don't know, this is the Sprint Ace Cup. You're here at round 3. I believe it's 7 rounds. I need to go ahead and double check that, but I'm pretty sure. But regardless, it is hosted by the Italian Revolt community, Alias Revolt Master, a community which I love very dearly. They do so many unique and interesting cups. Yes, we do have, it's going to be 7 rounds. So it does look like we're going to be headed into the qualifier, I guess, straight away here. So we'll go, let's see. I'll go ahead and start showing the picture-in-picture. Got some stuff to set up here while we do this. Apologies, but hang tight and we will be right into our qualifier. Currently getting the live update as far as distances between cars. That should be showing on the screen here in just a moment. And there it is. So, on that graphic, you can see the best lap times as well as the distance between vehicles. For this qualifier, we just got 3 laps to start us off, and it is going to be mostly, well, actually not mostly, entirely based on best lap time. So whoever gets the absolute best lap in the race will be starting off in the pole position for the race, and whoever has the misfortune of having the worst race time will be at the very back to start us off, and there will be a 1 lap rolling start and so on and so forth. As you can see, the Sprint Ace Cup, Sprint Ace car rather, is inspired by the Sprinter XL. It is a redone, reimagined version of that. Each player has their own liveries, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. This is round 3. I believe we saw Vasowski narrowly winning the first. But you know what? Let's go ahead and save some of that because we've got Powerade trying to set a new best lap to beat Vasowski and also Rob. So we're going to tune into Rob here. Rob spins out. We're not going to be tuned into, and Elytrizer spins out. Powerade gets hit by Elytrizer. And so that is mostly going to kill the hopes and dreams of anybody daring to go toe-to-toe with Vasowski here. And that should be it. We've got Bimmy finishing up. Vasowski's going to be finishing up. And as you can see from the lap time, Vasowski feels very comfortable here on Green Haze Valley. Of course, important to keep in mind, racers only got 3 laps. Sometimes some cups do more time for qualifiers. Usually don't see less time though, I will say. So drivers did not get a ton of chances at this, but even with that being said, Vasowski almost a full half a second ahead of the competition as far as best lap goes, which is a pretty daunting way for the rest of the drivers to start the race. I am going to go ahead and pull up, well, yeah, let me go ahead and pull up our Google Doc with the current results. So we had Robden winning Autumn Ring Mini. I got it wrong. Robden actually won Autumn Ring Mini. He got second place on the first round and first place on the second. And Vasowski got first on the first and second on the second. But I think Robden must have had the faster overall time because he did get that 2-point advantage over Vasowski. As we took it to Tenjin Incorporated GP on round 2, we had Robden actually starting out in third, a third place finish, Powerade in second, Bimmy in first. Bimmy surprising a lot of the competition there with a first place finish. Don't get me wrong, he's a very great driver, but we don't see a first place in these Alias Revolt Master competitions out of him every day. And that was really exciting. In fact, it looked like he might be walking home with the complete gold medal, as he was leading in round 2 or heat 2 for a while, but eventually he fell prey to some mistakes, wasn't able to keep the same consistency in the end of heat 2 that he had beginning heat 2, and he ended up finishing in third place, second place again for Powerade, and first place for Robden. So Robden getting back-to-back first place here, and that is going to leave him with 86 points overall. Again, while we're here waiting for the qualifiers to be set up, first of all, it looks like our race is going to be Vasowski on the pole position. He's going to be followed by the drivers in this order: Powerade, Robden, Lopeska, Lori DC, LR Trizer. Lori DC is someone that I haven't talked about a ton today, or really at all today, but always a driver that you got to keep your eyes out for. Lori DC getting third place overall in Autumn Ring Mini, as well as third place in Heat 2 on Autumn Ring Mini. Also doing pretty well on Tenjin Incorporated, fourth place overall. Lori DC is someone definitely you got to watch out for. Ellertizer is someone that I'm not very familiar with. Pretty much the only person in the entire Alias Revolt Master community roster here competing in the Sprint Ace Cup that I'm not familiar with. But he came out of the gates blasting with a 5th place finish on Tenjin Incorporated, doing quite well for himself. And so it's exciting to see him also being up there in the best laps. But we'll go ahead and take it over, and you can see the standings after round 2 over on the side of your screen right now. As you can see, our top 3 is Robden with 86, Bimmy with 65, Powerade with 59, and so on and so forth. Important to keep in mind that the star, or the asterisk, means that the driver missed one of our races. And you might think, well, if they missed, then they get 0 points, and so they certainly lost. Not the case, because I do believe, yes, as it says on the infographic, the 2 worst results are discarded. So if you miss 2 races and you make it to the other 5, those 2 0-pointers will be counted, or will not be counted, rather. So it does look like we are headed into our official race. 20 laps here. One of our longer sprint, or one of our longer tracks here. Because on previous races, in previous rounds, the lap count has been like in the 40s, etc., etc. So we're actually only going to have 19 laps here on Green Haze, as the drivers are putting on a show, having a good time. This is the formation lap. So there will actually only be 19 laps of actual driving. The first lap will just be a formation lap. And that does kind of rein in that half a second best lap lead that Vasowski has. It makes it look a little bit less scary than it was when you consider that the lap itself is double that of, say, Autumn Ring Mini. But as you can see, the track isn't exceptionally long, so there isn't a ton of room for mistakes. A quick note before we start our race: if you're familiar with circuit tracks on Revolt, you'll recognize, number one, that this is a port from Gran Turismo 2. Number 2, this track is made by Saffron. Shout out to Saf. And also, the track has been edited by the Alias Revolt community to add these yellow and black barriers on the inside of the track. Normally, you would get auto repoed if you go out of bounds, but with the edits made by the Italian community, it simply makes it so that you are punished without having the accidental ability to impact other drivers. Of course, you could still impact other drivers, but we all know how horrible it is to get like you're doing amazingly and then someone gets repoed right on top of you, which is awful. So I am going to count us down and we're going to be headed straight into it. Now I will say I don't have the picture-in-picture up yet, so let me bring that back up as the drivers kick it off. Okay, and away we go. Yep, as expected, that hairpin turn gonna be pretty impactful, but what I'm really looking forward to is this drop down turn right here. Lopesca spins out. Again, you need precision on, hold on, Snake. All right, doing well for themselves through there. The cars not being the highest of speeds, and so situations like that are able to be avoided for the most part. After one lap, we've got Bimmy, Lori DC, and Robden for our top 3, followed closely behind by Vasowski. We've also got Ellertizer in the mix as well. Powerade trying to get his way back in, trying to find him some solid ground. But with this drop down turn, we got Vasowski wiping out. We've also got Zephyr PF in the mix, trying to get in there. And Lopesca, 60 meters back, way back, doing what he can. So on the picture-in-picture, you've got the top 3 going on. On the main screen, we've got one of our main challengers, Vasowski. We'll see if he can't hunt some people down. He had the best lap time by over half a second. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with here on Green Haze Valley. The turn, ooh, Powerade and Ellertizer taking vastly different approaches to that drop down, but it works out for both of them. But look at how much speed Vasowski has. Right now, Ellertizer has the best lap in the race, but Vasowski is going to move into the new best lap holder. You could see it. I mean, look at how quickly he is approaching the previous best lap holder. Gets the overtake in the straightaway, the turn, some bumps and bangs up on the podium spots as they take that hairpin. Vasowski spins out. Bimmy does as well, losing control. Rob versus Lori is the new top 2. 20 meters separating the rest of them as we head into lap 6. We've got Bimmy and Vasowski as well as Powerade. Oh my goodness, Lori DC getting too narrow on the hairpin. And look at the lead that Robden will have. It's going to be very difficult to contest this Robden lead as we see other drivers, you know, not wrecking, but banging into the corner. But Rob has that perfect execution. Speak of someone with scary good execution is Vasowski here, passing up Powerade off the back of that turn. We're going to put the spotlight, at least on the main screen for a bit, here on Robden as we watch him try to extend his lead. He's got 25 meters over Lori DC for the moment. Beautiful hairpin, not overdoing it, keeping as much speed as he can. Needs to go for safety here through this area and does so with ease. He's got lots of consistency through that spot. That's the second lap in a row that we've seen him just completely nail that. And yeah, we're not very deep into this race, but at the same time, we kind of are. We're starting lap 8. Only got 20 laps here for Heat 1. Gonna have another 20 for Heat 2. But Heat 2, you know, that's another day. Not in a figurative sense. We do have Lori DC still in the mix, still holding on to second, defending second against Vasowski. But we'll watch from Vasowski's perspective as he tries to approach. This should be a great spot for him. Actually, he takes it so wide. It's very uncharacteristic of Vasowski, and Powerade overtakes 2 for 1. A little BOGO deal here. Vasowski, too narrow on the turn, spinning out again. Does manage to save himself there, but Lori DC passing him back up. And we'll watch this head-to-head continue to unfold for a bit. There it is, gonna end just like that. Lori off into the grass. You can see when you're in the grass, you get punished quite heavily for it. LR Tizer on the pit. Yeah, LR Tizer versus Bimmy here for 4th, 5th as they do the drop down turn. Looking good. Picture in picture. Powerade versus Vasowski. And there, it's over. It's too easy for Vasowski. He's right in there already. And we head into a familiar story. Robden versus Vasowski, at least for the time being. Bimmy and LR Tizer continue to duke it out for 4th place. Bimmy on the inside. He's going to take that one. But LR Tizer, hold on. He's not done yet. It's going to come down to this turn. Hold on. Bimmy on the inside, but he spins out, loses control. LR Tizer preserving so much speed. He's going to use it to attack Powerade now. In the meantime, the gap between 1st and 2nd is 90 meters. We are halfway through this race. We still got another half left to go, but if Robden stays with this consistency, there is absolutely no way that Vasowski is going to be able to bring it back here. I say that. We see it drop down to 60 momentarily, but that is just during the more complex parts of the track. Oh, wait. It dips down to 50. I'm going to put the spotlight on Robden here for a bit. In the meantime, Lori versus Bimmy for 5th, 6th. Bimmy, not going to be able to find it. Great defense by Lori, continues defending. On the inside. Bimmy not able to find the over-under quite yet. It's going to go inside, but loses speed for it. Lori continues to defend. Drop down turn. Lori, it is really just, it really is just a battle of who is going to mess up that turn and who is not. Consistency mattering here at Green Haze Valley more than it ever has before. Oftentimes, you know, consistency is a key part, yes, but so is some other factors. But consistency seems to be the main determining factor far and away here on Green Haze Valley. We'll turn away from Robden for a bit, turn our eyes to the newcomer of the group, LR Tizer, here for a moment. He's holding steady to 4th place. Bimmy wrecking out Lori DC, overtaking, but this makes it even easier for LR Tizer to hold on to his 4th place. He's going to be hard pressed to find Powerade in 3rd. But not quite the same situation for Powerade. Powerade is going to be challenging 2nd place. Vasowski, 25-30 meters. But not the best execution on the hairpin turn. Again, we talked about it. We nailed it home. Consistency. Vasowski with the turn. This is the part where it matters so much. Now, Vasowski has seriously cleaned that area up, and he has left Powerade in the dust. Robden, in the meantime, has wrecked. He has not been able to keep up that same level of consistency. And pokers, how about we head to the head-to-head here for this lap? We can do Vasowski versus Rob. Indeed. Vasowski on the main screen. He's going to be headed through this hairpin alongside Rob. Rob takes it first. looking clean on both ends, but Vasovsky again, best lap advantage over Rob by about 300 milliseconds. Drop down turn, Rob looks good. Vasovsky not able to preserve the speed, and the fight will be broken up for the time being. I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to a couple others. We got Bimmy and Lori right here. They're both looking good through the turn, not especially fast, but they've got the consistency. Lori trying to approach. Oh my god, he takes it too narrow, and Bimmy will be escaping for the time being. Power 8 versus Vasovsky is still very much a thing. We'll see the drop down turn once again. You're going to be seeing it from Rob first. Here he goes. Looking good, looking good. Not the cleanest, but he holds on. Vasovsky. Wow. But is it too little too late? Power 8 wrecking out. Tizer going to be looking decent there. Bimmy and Lori continues on. Lori with the overtake. I'm telling you, Lori, don't play around. This guy will mess you up. And he does move into 5th place. Vasovsky with the best lap time, but Rob with the consistency. They've only got a couple laps left. Really interested to see how this plays out. Power 8 has been floating around. He's currently in 3rd place. Tizer with a pretty comfortable 4th. Lori, DC, and Bimmy on the turn. Both sides looking good. Lopeska and Zephyr still trying to find their footing. And as we do just have a couple laps left, let's watch from... I'm going to tune in from Vasovsky's perspective here as he defends 2nd place against Power 8. And also hoping that he can luck out and maybe Rob wrecks on one of these laps and he can pass him up. But like we've been saying, we said it once, we said it 1,000 times, Vasovsky has to be consistent again, losing a lot of speed through there, whereas Power 8 looks to have managed to make it through without much time loss at all, and he is going to be getting very close to Vasovsky's bumper with just 2 laps left. We do have this straightaway before the action unfolds once again, but I will say, it looks like Bimmy and Lopeska are now duking it out. Bimmy doing a great job at coming back there. But we've got the head-to-head here. Vasovsky versus Power 8. Whipping it through. Hairpin looking good. Drop down turn. Going to be very impactful. Insane from Vasovsky. Excellent execution from Power 8 as well, though. Not giving Vasovsky a millimeter. And they will. Vasovsky scared me through that turn. Power 8 will survive. Got some lap traffic there, but he makes it through. And this will be the final lap here. Rob with a 50-meter lead. He can go through a snail's pace at this point, but Vasovsky cannot afford to have a sloppy turn. Hairpin going to be decent, but this is really going to be where it all comes to a head. And right after we see this, we got to flip over to 5th, 6th, 7th. Vasovsky looking good, and that will be him finishing it off. Bimmy, Lori, Lopeska in a row. Lori not able to find the momentum, falling back to 6th place, but it all comes to a head right here. And they all manage to escape. Lori versus Bimmy, snaking it through last turn. And it is going to be Bimmy holding on to 5th, Lori 6th, Lopeska 7th. As we look at the overall scores, Rob, Vasovsky, Power 8, Tizer, Bimmy, Lori, Lopeska, and Zephyr in 8 to finish us off. And that is going to be that. As the drivers finish it off, I'll go ahead and full screen this one just for the time being. Rob, first place overall in our event in its entirety, and also first place in Heat 1 of Round 3. Vasovsky is really kind of the champion of the Alias Revolt Master community. If you add up all the victories, I think he would be the champion, at least over the past couple of years. Robden has always been trying to challenge him, and Robden finally finding a way in here on the Sprint Ace Cup, and he has been coming to play. He has been showing up, and he has been getting first across the board. Power8 getting a very respectable third place, but still has not been able to challenge first or second quite. Yeah, actually he did get second place twice on Tintin GP Incorporated, Tintin Incorporated GP. I'll give him that much. But also I want to shine a spotlight on Alias here. Fourth place, looking quite good for himself. Okay, and we will go ahead and flip it back over back to our picture-in-picture here with the live standings update. For those of you who have not seen the Sprint Ace Cup before, the way we do it is a reverse grid order, which means whoever came in last for Heat 1 is going to start for Heat 2, and whoever got first in Heat 1 will start in last for Heat 2. So it is going to be Zephyr, Lopeska, I believe Bimmy, Lori, and I want to say Lopeska again, so I must have got something wrong there. But it's going to be Lartizer, Power8, Basowski, and Robden in the very back. So we will see the drivers line up. Hold on, Zephyr, where are you going? Oh, we got Angelo in the mix. Always love to see Angelo. Big shout out to Angelo. Great to have you here. He is going to be taking, I don't know, will he start the race? Will he be at the back of the race? He'll probably be at the very back. Okay, since he showed up late here. Are they going to let him in? Angelo, where are we going on? Okay. Okay, it looks like our drivers are set up here. Basowski and Robden neck to neck. Okay, the ready being called. And away they go, kicking it off. Zephyr, we're going to shine the spotlight on him for the time being. He's going to be trying to hold on to first. We'll see how long he can do it. He's got a big gap here to start us off. Hairpin, looking good, looking good. Always interesting to see if any drivers go haywire there on the initial turns of the beginning of an endurance or a circuit or anything like that. Zephyr goes wide, and he gets banged in the back. Pause. And he does drop down to 7th. Rob, I believe, ran into Zephyr at the same time. And so he's going to be all the way back in 8th. But look at Vasowski. He's already moved into 2nd. So Rob has got his work cut out for him here in the early game. I'll let Poker show the front field while I try to capture Robden's rise back from the ashes here. He's moved into 7th. Power8 wrecking on the hairpin. Might have been interference from some of the other drivers, but that's just the way it goes. Power8 dropping to 6th. And he wrecks in that very difficult drop down turn, which means Robden will be taking 6th. He's now hunting down Lopeska. In the meantime, Vasowski moves into 1st. Our top 3 is Vasowski, Glory DC, and Bimmy himself, the host of the Sprint Ace Cup. Got to lull in the action, but it's all going to kick back off right now. Lori versus Bimmy. Oh my god, they are duking it out here. You see Lartizer has the best view in the house of this. Oh my god, the spin out. Rob also mimicking that spin out, not to the same extent as Lori. Lartizer, whoa, failing out on the snake area. Not a mistake that we've seen happen too much, but it can definitely catch you out. And we are going to have musical chairs going on for the time being. 4th place for Rob, 3rd for Lopeska. He's rising from the ashes himself after a tough Heat 2. Bimmy in 2nd. Vasowski in 1st. I'm going to put the camera on Bimmy here for a bit. Tournament host, tournament organizer of the Sprint Ace Cup. And he had an exceptional week last week. Tintin Incorporated GP with that 1st place on Heat 2. He did stumble a bit here in Green Haze Valley, Heat 1, but it does look like he's mentally bounced back. Vasovsky with a 40-meter lead over him, and Lopeska right back there in the mix. We'll watch this battle. In the meantime, the picture-in-picture of Robden as he struggles to find his footing on Heat 2. We've talked to great extent about how dominating Robden has been throughout the entire Sprint Ace Cup until now, but he seems to be stumbling here. Wow, where is the consistency out of Rob following Power8's line? But Power8 has been struggling himself here on Green Haze Valley, so I don't know if that's the move. I think he needs to focus on his own race here, get that locked in, because he has had the consistency, to the credentials there to prove it. In the meantime, LR Tizer moving back to 7th place. The newcomer in the ARM community has not been able to defend as well here. A big battle for 5th place. Power8, Robden, LR Tizer all caught up for it. In the meantime, on the main screen, we've got the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place battles still unfolding. Vasovsky, best lap in the race, as well as a very comfortable lead over Bimmy and crew. We'll go ahead and go from Lori DC's perspective here for a bit. Lori DC struggling, I want to say early on here in Heat 2. I have high standards for Lori DC because he continues to impress and surprise. I know he wants that podium. We'll see if he can lock it down. They head through the turn, and he has been struggling to find the consistency with that turn in specific. Continues to do so. Lori and Lopeska and Bimmy continue to duke it out. Rob out in 7th place still. LR Tizer and Power8 with a large lead over him. And despite, well, keep in mind, your worst 2 races you can drop, okay? So Robden, oh my god, Bimmy with the wreck out of nowhere on a very wide turn. Bimmy, of all the areas that you could lose your focus, that is not one of them. He does lose a lot of speed as well through the turn. Lopeska, speed demon, he is just completely making a fast break out of there. Lori DC 10 meters behind Bimmy, trying to wedge his way in there, nose his way in there. LR Tizer 30 meters behind in 5th place. LR Tizer has moved up 2 rankings since we last spoke of him, which is a great performance from him. And of course, I want to keep the spotlight on Rob because he's been performing so well. Power8, and again, an unorthodox area to be wrecking at, but our drivers have been looking a little bit fatigued here as Heat 2 reaches its halfway point. Vasovsky is the only one in the house not looking fatigued, other than maybe Bimmy and I guess Lopeska here as well. Lopeska with a decent advantage over Bimmy. I do believe Bimmy was leading over Lopeska when I last looked at him, so something must have happened there. But still, Bimmy is still in the mix for sure, but he needs to bounce back big, just like Robden does. He's scooped up 1 position, needs to find another. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think this needs to be a race that Rob needs to drop, because I don't see how he could possibly come back all of this distance with only 9 laps left. We'll see if he can do it. When again, it was like he was in the groove on race 1. He knew exactly what to do on that turn, but he has been looking a little bit lost and a little bit dazed here on Green Haze Heat 2. LR Tizer continues to put up a solid 5th place. Lori DC out in 4th. Bimmy and Lopeska in 3rd and 2nd. And in fact, we've got Lopeska on the picture-in-picture. Here he goes for the turn. Looking good. Bimmy going to try to find the same. Goes wide, but holds onto the speed. It's a great way to take the turn. And we'll do a little bit of a head-to-head on these 2 drivers for a bit. Bimmy and Lopeska. Two drivers that go hand in hand here at the Alias Revolt Master. And Lopeska also shows up to a lot of international events or events outside of the Alias Revolt Master community. Bimmy staying more concentrated within the Alias Revolt Master community, but the two players know each other quite well. They face off against each other quite often in these situations. And if I had to give it to one racer, I would say I would have to give it to Lopesca. But as of lately, especially in the Sprint Ace Cup, Lopesca has been struggling to find his footing in general, whereas Bimmy jumped out strong with a blast on races 1 and 2. So I would be surprised if Lopesca was able to lock down the second place, but also I wouldn't be. It just depends on how you look at it. What I'm trying to say is this is a toss-up. It could go either way. We're on lap 14 out of 20. Don't forget about Lori, okay? Lori is also someone that you're not going to want to count out ever, and he is very much within striking distance of Bimmy, but he has been struggling with these turns. Let's see if we can find it. Again, losing some speed there. We've also got Rob still out in 7th place, folks. Power 8 with a decent 6th. LR Tizer in 5th. I am going to stay tuned in to Lori DC versus Bimmy at least for a lap or two. Well, depending on how quickly this plays out, one of them can make a mistake. The two have not been perfect by any means. Bimmy has looked good at this turn, but has looked a little bit shaky at some other spots. Lori DC has been the opposite. We'll see it play out. Bimmy, the caster curse, coming out in full effect as Bimmy wrecks out at the area I just said he was looking consistent at, and Lori DC wrecks out the area I was saying that he was looking consistent at, and he does it twice. How about a double caster curse for you? Something rare that you don't often get to see. There is a bona fide double caster curse. The direct opposite of what I said has been happening just happens for both racers, and the situation continues as normal, as if nothing ever happened. We're just going to act like none of that ever happened, and we're back to 3rd Bimmy, 4th Lori. The thing is, though, it doesn't look like LR Tizer made a mistake at all. Oh, Lori wrecks out. He does back up. He lets LR Tizer and Power 8 pass him by. And we have got a crazy finale here as they approach lap 17. 3 racers neck and neck, maybe 4, actually. But that being said, Vasovsky, Lopesca, very comfortable first, second. Congratulations to them. Lopesca might be able to get in the mix off the back of a wreck from Vasovsky. It's very possible, but otherwise it's looking home and away for Vasovsky. Hairpin turn, looking solid for Lori, definitely. Getting some speed onto Power 8 there. But again, it all comes down to this. We'll see Eller. Good. Power 8, good. Lori, good. They all pass through and live to fight another day. Lori, too tight on the turn, goes into the grass. That's something we mentioned before, is it's difficult to fish yourself out of that grass once you get in there. LR Tizer and Power 8 set new best lap for themselves on lap 18 of 20 while they're neck and neck. This is insane. It's going to be coming down to the wire here for both of them. But you can't count out Lori. Like I've said over and over again, he's right there 15 meters back. Let's see who can lock it in. Power 8 looking good. Look at the speed. He goes on the outside, but he's got so much speed. He goes straight past LR Tizer, zips right past him. The turn, they're able to hold on. Power 8 again on the outside, but it doesn't look like LR Tizer really able to capitalize on that. And we've got Lori DC. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun. As they head into the hairpin, Power 8, LR Tizer, Lori, they're all within 10 meters of each other in total. LR Tizer a little bit wide, a little bit shaky, but Lori not able to get in the mix, not able to challenge him on that. But here it is, the Goliath. LR Tizer will be able to steady himself, but he will lose speed. Lori DC on the overtake, out here in 5th place. How much more can he find? Vasovsky, Lopesca, Bimmy, looking like a very comfortable top 3. Lopesca and Angelo. Okay, that is some lap traffic, but lap 20 of 20, let's stay focused here. Power 8, Lori, LR Tizer, who's it gonna be? that gets to take 4th place. It's all down to Power 8. Will he make a mistake? No. Yes! He will! Lori DC finds a pass. Tizer wrecks as well. I told you guys. I told you over and over again. I said, do not count out Lori DC. I promise. He is a shark. Do not count him out. He does some crazy shit. He makes it happen. And he makes it happen again here today. 4th place. Taking that 4th place right out from under the nose of Power 8. Robden driving in reverse and finishes in 7th. And that will be Vasowski, Lopeska, Bimmy with the podium. Lori DC snatching 4th place from the hands of Power 8, saying, give me that. Hold on, give me that. And he takes it right out from him. Power 8 says, well, I mean, I got no choice. I got no choice. He just wrecks out there on that turn, and who can blame him? I've driven Green Haze Valley myself. I can tell you how difficult it is to find consistency through there. That's why it's so insane that Vasowski was able to find that consistency on Heat 2. He struggled on Heat 1. Don't forget it. He did. He seriously struggled there on Heat 1, but he turned it around in Heat 2. We got Angelo finishing up in 8th. Wasn't able to find his footing. Zephyr going to be finishing it up as well. And that is going to be the end of our race here at the Sprint Ace Cup, hosted by Bimmy, aka BMMXIV, as well as the Italian Revolt community, Alias Revolt Master. But don't go anywhere. If you're looking for the overall standings, if you've been following this race, you're going to want to see, number one, who is the overall points leader after this race. It could be Vasowski, it could be Rob, it could be someone else. But also you'll get to see the final point standings from this race itself with both heats added up. I want to say it's going to be Vasowski first, but as far as the other positions, I have no idea. I am hard pressed to think it could be Rob or Lopeska, because Lopeska got next to last in Heat 1, following it up with 2nd in Heat 2, and Robden had the inverse. Robden got 1st on Heat 1, 7th on Heat 2. So I don't think 2nd place is going to be either of them, maybe 3rd. But I think it might be Bimmy in 2nd. It might be Lori in 2nd. I'm not entirely sure. But if you want to find out, you'll just have to stay tuned, because we'll be showing y'all the live overall standings update once that information gets added in. So that is going to be it from, I guess, from our picture-in-picture cameraman, our co-cameraman Pokers. Of course, you can hang around and see the points updated if you want, but I'm not going to hold you if you got something to do. So of course, thank you for joining me, Pokers, and love what you do for the community. Thank you so much. But for now, that is, we are going to be headed to a break for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but probably about 5 minutes. I'm going to go put some food in the microwave, but the stream is not going anywhere. We will be back with more action. Well, not more action. We'll be back with more action in about 2 weeks. Okay, don't get ahead of ourselves here. But we'll be back with the standings, the overall standings, shortly. For now, I'll send y'all over to the standings page of after round 2, and hang tight, you. All right, y'all. Sorry for that delay, but we are going to check out the results. Thank you for that, Bimmy. I was snack attacking and did not even notice. So my bad for making y'all wait. But we are going to head right into it. Let me go ahead and pull it up for y'all right now. A quick note from Bimmy. Yes, the best 5 results count. Important to keep that in mind. Give me just a second here. For some reason I can't, I like to use DuckDuckGo. I don't know about y'all. I like DuckDuckGo, the web browser, but it does not work with OBS, which is very annoying. Okay, I don't know. Gonna have to do some light editing. Again, keep in mind, guys, it's a one-man show here, except when Pokers joins in for the camera. Gotta figure it out on my own here. Sometimes it takes a sec, but we're gonna be headed into that very shortly once I get it. Okay, should be good to go here. I'm gonna show you all the results from, not gonna be able to fit all that on the screen. So I'll show you all the results from last race as well as this race. I'll show you all both of those. Okay, so as you can see, it is Vasosky gonna be taking the dub there, of course. Rob actually managing to get second place with that, thanks to that first place that he got in Heat 1. Keep in mind, a first place win is worth a lot of points, so it does make sense that he was able to bounce back even with the 7th place and still lock in second. We had Powerade with the 3rd, getting 3rd on Heat 1, 5th on Heat 2. Bimmy, where's Lori? Lori all the way down there in 6th, I believe. Surprising to me, but regardless, we got Bimmy 5th and 3rd, going to be locking in 4th place. Lopesca struggling there with Heat 1. You can see just how much more it matters to get 1st over 2nd, because look, Rob and Lopesca both got 7th place on a race. But the difference between 2nd and 1st is just that big. So that does bring Lopesca all the way down to a 4th place finish. Lori in 5th, LR Tizer in 6th, and Zephyr in 7th, Angelo 8th. Now, we also want to show the overall standings, which I'm going to try to do here. Hold on. Just a moment, folks. Here we go. Rob, 1st place overall with 117. Bimmy in 2nd with 90. Vasosky in 3rd with 88. Powerade in 4th with 84. Lori in 5th. LR Tizer in 6th. Lopesca in 7th.